Good evening, everybody, and thanks for choosing KLBK News. I'm Matt Still.
I'm Terry Furman. The rise and fall of the Reagor Auto Group has been one of the most watched scandals in Lubbock's history. For more than 15 years, Bart Reagor was the face of the dealership and was well known on the South Plains.
But it all ended when RDAG declared bankruptcy and CFO Shane Smith was charged as the criminal mastermind behind fraud at all of the dealerships. Reagor still says he had no knowledge of what Smith and others were doing, but since then, hundreds of employees have lost their jobs. 15 people have pled guilty for their part, and earlier this month, Reagor went to trial. Jurors heard testimony that Reagor had secured a $10 million capital loan, but took a piece of it for personal use. He was found guilty for making a false statement to a bank, but not guilty on 2 counts of bank fraud.
Once very vocal, Reagor has stayed away from cameras since the fall of his dealership. But tonight, in an exclusive interview, he'll answer questions about the charges, the accusations, the customers, and what he says led to the collapse of the Reagor Dykes dealerships. We've been talking about doing this interview now for over 3.5 years, and since this Reagor Dykes Auto Group situation all started, there have been a lot of things said about you and implied about you in the media, around town, a lot of things. You were all over the media prior to, everything that happened in July of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
Why have we not heard from you since that day?
Believe me, it's not because I didn't want to. And I think you and I texted about it several times, and I was always shot down by my attorneys. They wouldn't let me. They just wouldn't let me talk. And then, of course, my kids and my wife, they said, you better listen to them, because a couple times I was just going to get in the car and just come over and see you. But I think it was teaching me some discipline. It's been hard to hear the things that have been said about me and not be able to respond, but I didn't. But I'm here now.
Fast forward 18 years later, as of this interview today, Bart, 14 employees of Reagor Dykes have been indicted by a federal grand jury, many of them already sentenced to prison. You've been found guilty at this point by a jury for a false statement to a bank. Hundreds of employees lost their jobs. Many customers had trouble getting titles. Ford says they're owed millions of dollars. All the dealerships have now closed. So tell me about the day you got that phone call in July of 2018.
Horrible. Well, I didn't know it was that horrible when I first found out. I thought we were in great shape. And so July the 21st, was a Saturday, okay? And every Saturday I went over my Friday afternoon bank balance report that Shane Smith sent to me and Rick Dykes. In 2006, when Rick and I became partners, he was the financial guy. He said, Bart, you grow the auto group, I'll take care of I'll make sure you have the capital to do it, okay? And so I wasn't really involved as much in the banking like I was before Rick was my partner. But I gave him 50% of my company because he was going to be the capital and I was going to be the operator. And so I wasn't that involved in it. I thought everything was good, and so I was kind of shocked that that this was going on. And then Friday, things got worse, and Ford obviously had planned to come down, and they had brought an army of people and they put them in all of our dealerships and took all the titles, took all the keys, every dime that was coming into the dealership they took. And so it forced us into bankruptcy on August 1st. And once we filed bankruptcy, then we didn't have access to any of our bank accounts. We were kind of stuck. We didn't have any money to pay them. So it was crazy.
How important has your family been through all of this?
They've been awesome, I've always said, my priorities were God, family, team, and me. I'm the last for me. But my family's been awesome. My wife, you can imagine the stress. Even going to the grocery store, with all the stuff going on. But, it's been great. My kids have rallied. My daughter and her husband down in Houston, it kills me. My daughter, and, I found out that she had to even go to counseling, and so that kills me, and I know that kills my wife. So, I hate it for them. Yeah. But I'm fine, but I hate it for them.
Of course, you had a really big presence in the Lubbock community. You were all over TV, you were at all the big events, very giving in those things to local charities and local people. Why do you think a lot of people came back at you with such a negative or hostile attitude?
You know, I don't blame them. You know, I mean, it's just, I mean, I think that's just human nature. So I think people thrive on negativity because it makes them feel better about themselves, you know, and so, you know, I don't blame them. I mean, they don't know me.
What are you guilty of in all of this situation, Bart?
I mean, if anything, I'm guilty of being too trusting. You know, I mean, I trust people, you know. I mean, I'm a trustworthy guy. If you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it, you know, and I expect other people to do the same.
You were the guy on TV.
Right.
You were the front man.
Mm-hmm.
You were the guy on everything. Your face was Reagor Dyke Auto Group.
Right.
How did you not know what was going on?
Yeah, I've been asked that, you know. I mean, I'm a marketing guy, okay? And like I told you earlier, I mean, I trusted, I mean, Shane was a good friend of mine, okay? Everybody that worked at the Reagor Dyke Auto Group was a good friend of mine. All those people that worked in the financial, I trusted them, you know. And I mean, it's not like I was just oblivious to finance. I mean, like the day before I left for vacation, there was $20-something million available on that bank balance report, so I wasn't worried about it. And you know, I mean, we got through that. You know, we had a bad audit in March of 17, and you know, we got through that. I mean, we had, you know, Ford Motor Credit even, you know, I didn't suspect any fraud, because if there'd have been fraud on the audit, why would Ford Motor Credit Company give me $5 million line of credit, you know? And so, I mean, I had no reason to suspect anything.
A lot of those customers had trouble trying to find their titles and trying to, you know, get their trade in and all of that. They had a bad experience.
Absolutely.
What would you say to them?
I'm sorry. You know, I mean, I'm sorry that happened, but I mean, I didn't have any control of it. You know, by the time on the 26th, okay, I get this email. Everything's pretty okay till late in the 26th, and then on the 27th, my dealerships were taken over by Ford. By the time I got home at midnight on the 28th, I mean, the last time Bart Reagor had any control of what was going on with the money or anything in Reagor Dyke Auto Group was July 21st, when I left, the day before I left on vacation. I mean, I had no say-so in, I was like, the first lawyer we had in Lubbock was David Langston. I spent a lot of time, the former mayor, and we spent a lot of time over there, and I was throwing a fit in there, and they were saying, just settle down. I said, these customers are not going to get their cars registered. These customers are not going to get their trades paid off. I mean, I was throwing a cow about it, because my customers are my friends, and they always have been, even like those people out there. And I don't want to let them down. But I mean, I didn't have any choice. I didn't have the money. All the money I had, everybody took from me. So, I mean, there was nothing I could do.
Did you ever have any problems or concerns about Shane Smith or his work ethic or his decisions before July?
No. I mean, Shane was my friend. His wife was my friend. His son was my friend, you know. I mean, I was a friend to his son, and Cooper, and, you know, I mean, I never suspected it, you know. I mean, we tried to always include Shane and his wife. I mean, he was a big part of our success. I mean, that guy worked hard. I think all this happened in the last couple of years, and I don't know, I'd like to talk to Shane. You know, I'd like to talk to him, because I've never gotten to talk to Shane since I left July 21st. I mean, I would just like to talk to him, because I have some suspicions about some things, but there was no way that what Shane did could have happened without me knowing it, unless there was people on the other side that were hiding it from me too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no way that what was going on with Ford, that only Shane could know it, and they didn't know it, because they were doing audits every quarter. I mean, they couldn't, I mean, there's no way. It's impossible. You know, I mean, it was a money deal. I mean, Ford made a lot of money. My general manager in La Mesa, Brian Malakian, when all this first happened, he said, Bart, I went back to the financial statements, and because he's a little more of a financial guy than me, he said, Ford Motor Credit was charging us $50,000 a month more interest every month than what we should have been paying based on this fraudulent stuff. I mean, that's $600,000 a year, and that's one dealership out of 20. You know, so I mean, they were making a lot of money, and plus we were buying about, well, let's see, we sold $800 million worth of cars in 2017. We were buying probably $400 million worth of cars from Ford, or 500. Yeah, so a lot of incentive there to keep us open. A lot of incentive there to, and you know, I don't know, you and I've talked about the lawsuit that's going on with Ford, with the Reagor entities against Ford Motor Credit, $315 million. Obviously, I don't know this law firm out of Houston, but I know the guy that hired him out of Dallas. He's a friend of mine, and I don't think that law firm out of Houston would be doing this on a contingency, and I don't think they would sue Ford Motor Credit Company for $350 million if they didn't think there was $350 million at least that was wrongfully gotten. And I don't think that they would have sued First Capital Bank for over $50 million, which is a lawsuit that's pending right now too, which a lot of First Capital Bank people were not too good to me when all this first happened. Okay. And that's why I had to go out of town to get lawyers.
Any regrets in all of this?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I regret all of it. You know, I mean, I'm thankful to God. You know, I mean, I think God has a plan for us all. God told me during the night 2 years ago, I asked him, I said, God, what do I need to do? And he said, you don't need to do anything. And so that's where I'm at. And so
what's next for you?
I'm excited to find out, you know. I mean, I feel good. You know, I feel like I have the energy of a 20-year-old, and I'm looking forward to what's next, you know, wherever God leads me. You know, I like to do something that helps people, and you know, I don't know what that is. I mean, I think that we need, you know, we definitely need justice. You know, I mean, I think we've got there's a lot of corruption, I think, in the world. I think everybody should be treated fairly and have a fair opportunity, and I don't think just because you have a lot of money or you own a big company that you should get any less justice in the courtroom than anybody else. And I don't feel like I've got my share of justice in the courtroom.
Reagor and his attorneys plan to file a motion for a new trial on the false statement to a bank conviction. Right now, Mr. Reagor faces up to 30 years in federal prison and is scheduled to be sentenced by a federal judge in Amarillo, February. Shane Smith will be sentenced this December the 21st. Now, this was just a portion of our conversation with Mr. Reagor. To see the entire interview, you can go log on to everythinglubbock.com right now.